Hello everybody, this is a Butcher with KillerReviews.com. Thanks for tuning in again on yet another video. So I have a surprise for you guys, which you probably figured out what it is by the title of this video. But I know recently there's been a lot of gaming videos on the channel, and some of you horror fans are saying, hey, where's my content, Mr. Butchie? So this is a special video for you guys. Sleepaway Camp. So, I thought about making a new series where I review commentary tracks, but at the same time, I want to tell you, more specifically, I want the video to be about what I learned from the commentary track. So, this is the first one of the series, obviously. If you guys like it, comment below and let me know, and then I can do more of these. You can also maybe request movies for me to watch and, you know, do videos on what we learned from the commentary track. And at the end of what going over what I've learned, I'll talk about a general feeling on the commentary track. So first up is Sleepaway Camp. This film is from 1983 from American Eagle Film Corporation. And this film is about, I'll just read it. Why not? I'll just read it. Welcome to Camp Arawak, where teenage boys and girls learn to experience the joys of nature as well as each other. But when these happy campers begin to die in a series of horrible accidents, they discover that someone or something has turned their summer of fun into a vacation to dismember. Has a dark secret returned from the camp's past, or will an unspeakable horror end the season forever? So, it's a slasher film. It takes place at camp in the early 80s. Bodies start turning up. It's kind of like a whodunit. And then, of course, it has one of the most awesome, quote-unquote, shocking on the back endings of all time for horror films. I can remember seeing this video when I was, like, maybe, 8, 10, 12, at the video store. I grew up in the big boom of the video stores. And this box art on the VHS tape, I was just, like, that movie looks amazing. I remember seeing that box art. And at one point, my parents let me rent it. So, alright, let's talk about the commentary track. We have Robert Hiltzik, and my notes are over here to my left, which is why I'm looking over there. Robert Hiltzik is the director. He's on the commentary track, with star Felissa Rose. And also Jeff, who runs SleepawayCampMovies.com. Jeff Hayes. There's an awesome website. It's still it gets updated frequently. And it's kind of the official website of the series, SleepawayCampMovies.com. That's Jeff Hayes. So there's 3 people on the commentary track. So let's talk about what I learned from the movie, from the commentary track. Director Robert Hiltzik actually went to the camp where this movie was filmed. He grew up around the area, and he went to the camp. He went there as a kid, and went back, obviously, years later and filmed the movie there. I thought that was very interesting. The film was shot in the fall, so the water was pretty cold. And the director, he had a whole plan for, as far as filming goes. He had a shooting schedule, he had storyboards, he had, like shot lists, the whole thing planned. The first day of filming, they filmed some water scenes, and I guess he underestimated shooting in the water, which is, it's a lot harder shooting in the water. And the film got a day behind schedule from the first day. They went over one day of the schedule, and they never recuperated that time. And from, when the director went over a day, all his plans were shot, so he just pretty much threw out the storyboards and went with it. And the film was shot on a very tight budget. I'm not sure how many days it was shot in, but he mentions in the commentary track that there wasn't enough time to shoot extra scenes or do a lot of takes because they didn't have the budget, the time or the money for the film to do that. Let me drink some of my ginger ale here. Felissa Rose, her audition for the movie was to sit, space out. It's literally, how did she put it? Audition was to eat a candy bar and stare into space, as a quote from the commentary track. Because a lot of times in the movie, you see her in the background. Just kind of like, you know. And also, in the scenes where Felissa Rose, that's right, Felissa Rose, yeah. Where she has, I'm thinking about, you know, the pronunciation of Felissa. I think that's right, Felissa Rose. There's times in the movie when she's like staring people down. She's in the background and she's just like staring people down as they walk by. And to help her get into character and make it look more real, in her head she'd be saying, you know, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, you know, I'm gonna get that guy. So as she's in the scene, you know, watching somebody walk down, or, you know, staring somebody down, she'd be thinking that in her head to you know, to make her performance, to make it come through in her performance. This isn't really what I learned, but I think it's worth mentioning. There's a big chunk of the commentary track where Robert, Felissa, and Jeff don't really talk about like making the movie, facts for the movie. There's a lot of catching up where they'll say like, "Oh, I remember, you know, there's Joe. I remember Joe." You know, then the director will ask Felissa Rose, "Oh, you know, how's Joe doing these days?" And she'll like, "Oh, he's great. I saw him at a convention or whatever." Or I think he's doing soap opera, you know, TV now. So there's a lot of the director and Felissa catching up and talking about all the people in the movie and where they are now. And I think it's also quite funny because I find most of the performances in this movie absolutely terrible. I think the acting is like maybe like a 2 at best, like a 2 out of 5 at best across the whole. I mean, you'll find a couple people that are somewhat believable, but in general, I think the acting is terrible. And the Robert, the director, and Felissa, who stars in the movie, talk back and forth about how amazing the performances are in the movie. It happens countless times. Like, oh my God, Derek! Oh, he was just a dream to work with, and he's so talented. Like you get lots of that stuff. This is quite interesting. The pot in the kitchen. There's a scene where there's a bigger guy, and he's cooking in the kitchen for the camp. But there's a huge pot. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not. That's like a foot-high pot. But if I do this, you can't see how big. That's hilarious. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work very well. But the pot looks like it's like 3 feet maybe tall. And from what I understand, unless the director is being sarcastic, they had to have that pot made for the shooting because they couldn't find a pot that big. So yeah, they had to make that for the movie. So I have to go over and scroll down my computer. So 1 minute. There we go. The director sent Felissa Rose flowers. Her mom. Felissa's mom was on set the entire time, and the first week, Robert sent Felissa's mom flowers, you know, as a nice gesture to butter up a little bit because there were, you know, a lot of boys on set, a lot of behind the scenes kissing, flirting, and of course, you know, the end scene in the movie. And I'm sure, you know, it was sensitive stuff. You know, I mean, her daughter is murdering. Spoiler alert. Her daughter's murdering people. So he sent her flowers to butter her up a little bit. Not much changed between the script and the final film. The director he's actually sounds like a very planned director, and he said even if he wanted to, he didn't have, you know, any budget to change stuff on the fly really. So you had the script, not much changed from, you know, beginning to end. Felissa Rose is eating a whatchamacallit candy bar during the dance sequence, which personally is one of my favorite candy bars. I remember from the 80s, that was a really big, you know, you see commercials for whatchamacallit. And a lot of the times the commercial was, hey Billy, what are you eating? It's a whatchamacallit. What do you call it? It's a whatchamacallit. What? Humor ensues. So, look up on YouTube whatchamacallit commercials sometime. They're quite entertaining and very nostalgic. So, during the scene where Felisa stared at people, I already went over that point. The director's favorite kill in the film is the bathroom kill with the bees. He says his favorite kill, and that's when somebody walks in the bathroom holding a beehive and throws it, locks the bathroom door to the stall, locks the stall door with like a stick, and the person throws the beehive in and the guy dies. I thought this was really interesting. Jeff Hayes, I think it is. Jeff Hayes, who's from the SleepawayCampMovies.com, during one of the final scenes, a girl gets murdered with a curling iron. And Jeff Hayes asked Robert, the director, wasn't this scene supposed to be more violent? And the director responded with, yeah, it was supposed to be more violent, but the director got second thoughts about it because the girl getting murdered with a curling iron, he didn't feel she did enough bad things in the movie to warrant a gory death. Most of the times in the movie, you see people be jerks to somebody and then they get murdered. Apparently she didn't do much at all in the movie to earn a death. So the director didn't feel like he felt it wouldn't be appropriate to just, have the curling iron down the throat and she's screaming and all this stuff, whatever. So I don't know if he didn't film it. He never answered this question. Jeff Hayes asked the director, well, did you film it? Is there any footage that you didn't, that's hanging around somewhere of the murder? Of the more, aggressive murder, and the director didn't answer the question for some reason. So, but overall, the director, he was very cautious about how much blood you saw in the movie. He wanted to make a good thriller type horror movie, as opposed to blood and guts type movie. So he was very thoughtful about what you actually saw within the movies when it comes to the deaths. So that's kind of all I've learned from the commentary track. There's lots of catching up. There weren't a whole lot of good, juicy, interesting facts, but that's a handful of some fun facts. The commentary track is a lot more of them catching up. Jeff Hayes doesn't talk much at all on the commentary track. At one point, the director says to Jeff, "Hey, Jeff, you want to jump in here?" Halfway through the commentary track, Jeff hadn't said one word. So, but he does make it up for it towards the back half of the commentary track. The director overall on the commentary track, I found he was very sarcastic, dodging questions left and right. Didn't deliver a lot of facts. It didn't seem like he was dying to be there. And that's just my impression of the commentary track. Maybe he loved it, but Felisa Rose, exceptional. I've seen her in interviews on YouTube, from the convention scene. She's joined this commentary track. She's exceptional. Maybe someday I'd like to, maybe someday I'll interview her. I'd like to do that. She seems so happy with where she is in life, which I think is awesome. That's so cool that she's so happy and content, that she loves this fame and this niche fan market she has for Sleepaway Camp. So that's Sleepaway Camp from 1983. I think every horror fan should own this movie. It's a much loved movie in the horror community. And if you're a younger horror fan, grew up on whatever 90s or 2000s or something, I would check this out. I found this for $6.50 or $7 at a local, used DVD shop. If you have a copy of it and there's no commentary track, I don't think you need to rebuy it for a commentary track. But if you like collecting DVDs, and just for this, it's funny. I actually have two versions of this movie. One version that doesn't have this cover art on it, and I bought this just to have the artwork on it. I think that's not true. I own one copy. I want to buy the bandage survival kit that comes with all three movies. That does not have this artwork on the box. Not on the outer shell of the collection. So that's why I bought this one, just to have the artwork. But yeah, good commentary. I'd give the commentary track, I got a 5, maybe like a 2.5 or a 3. I would have liked to learn a lot more about like how you got the idea for the. You know what I mean. Just I'd like more detail. I'm running out of minutes on my camera. So hey, that's it. Sleepaway Camp. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this series where I talk about commentary tracks, please leave a comment below and give me some suggestions, maybe of good ones I should check out. And hey, thanks for watching. And check out killerreviews.com. And I have the Killer Reviews podcast. Check that out too. You go to killerreviews.com and just click podcast. We do a show, usually 2 shows a month. And I'm also on Twitter at Killer Reviews. And I'm also on twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/Killer Reviews. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Sleepaway Camp. Have an awesome day. Blah!